Okay, greetings one and all, and welcome to day number 4. Yes, day number 4. This has to be week 10, fall 2024 of our journey together, and it's definitely a delight to have each and every one of you here for this evening's class. Let's begin by heading up. My name is Mr. Petit. Today is Thursday, the 7th of November, 2024. The subject is, of course, we're going to be looking at science today. Science and social studies is today. The topic for today is the water cycle. The water cycle. Have any of you ever heard of the water cycle? The water cycle.
Yes, sir. I had to do a project about it.
You had to do a project on the water cycle? Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. What do you remember from the water cycle? What do you remember from the water
Excuse
cycle?
me, Mr. Petit.
Yes, Madeline?
May I get a different pencil?
Yes, you can, quickly.
Good afternoon, Mr. Butch.
Good afternoon. Yeah, for those of you who ever did the water cycle before, what do you remember about the water cycle? You remember anything? Okay.
I do.
What do you remember, Legacy?
I remember that the water from the ocean evaporates, not all of it, but water from different places evaporate into the sky. They turn into clouds, then it rains back down, and then it goes all over again.
Okay, good. All right, good. That's basically what it is, right? So basically, the water cycle is just the Earth's way of recycling the water, right? So all of the water that we have is just recycled, right? It changes into different forms and then it comes back again, all right? So the water that is rained down is the same water that was on the, you ever notice that when it rains, there's a lot of water and it forms a lot of puddles and stuff, and then 2 hours later or 5 hours later, then the water is not there anymore, right?
Yes.
So where did the water go, right? So that water was evaporated, and that's how we have the water cycle, right? That's a part of it. And so let's talk about the water cycle and the different parts of it, because there are 4 main parts of the water cycle that we want to look at. And so let's define it. So the water cycle, write this down for me, please. The water cycle is like nature's recycling system. Just like nature's recycling system, where water moves around in different forms, all over the earth. So this is going to be nature's natural recycling system, basically what it is. So the water is just recycled, right? So this cycle has 4 main steps. The first one is evaporation. The second one is condensation. The third one is precipitation. precipitation. And then the fourth one is collection.
Excuse me, Mr. Betsy.
Go ahead.
I know about precipitation.
You know about precipitation? That's good. So there are 4 main steps, right? Lincoln, can you tell me the 4 main steps of the water cycle?
Evaporation, condensation, precipitation, and collection.
Very good. And collection, very good. And Madeline, can you tell me the 4 steps of the water cycle?
Evaporation, condensation, precipitation, and
Precipitation.
collection.
Precipitation.
Precipitation and collection.
Very good. So let's start off with evaporation. Evaporation is one of the main steps of the water cycle. So let's start off with evaporation. So first of all, you could think of the sun, as the main power source of the water cycle. Now, when the sun heats up water from where? It could be from oceans, lakes, rivers, or even puddles, right? Or even puddles of water. Especially in the Bahamas, when it rains, there's a lot of water because, you know, we're a flat island. So anyone ever had to drive through a huge puddle of water? Anyone ever had to drive through that before?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Only Asia?
Yes, sir.
Anyone ever had to drive through a huge, I mean a lot, right? So much so that sometimes even the car is stopped, right? Because it's so much water.
Excuse
Right.
me, Mr. Betsy.
Go ahead.
One time, my mother was driving, and the water was so high that it covered up the car.
Wow. Yeah, that's a lot of water. But that water doesn't stay there because the sun comes out, and the good thing we live in the tropics, so the sun comes out and it evaporates the water, and that's what evaporation is. When water turns into water vapor or gas. So the water, bottles of water. Okay, so the water, so when the sun heats up the water, the water starts to turn into an invisible gas called water vapor. Now you cannot see it because it's invisible, but when the sun heats up, but the way that you could sometimes see water vapor is when you're boiling water and you see the steam that comes from it, right? That's water vapor, right? That's actually steam, but that's showing you how water vapor comes. At least in that case, you could see it, but with water vapor, you can't see it, right? But that water is being transferred to gas. So evaporation is when you have that water from the puddles of water, from the lakes, from the rivers, from the ocean, and it's turning into gas. That's evaporation, when water or liquid turns into gas, okay? This process is called evaporation. So when water turns into gas, what do we call that? What do we call that?
Evaporation.
Evaporation, very good. Asia, when water turns into gas, what do we call that?
Evaporation.
Evaporation, good. That's the process when water turns into gas. That's evaporation. So when you see a wet, when you see a wet sidewalk drying up, bless you. When you see a wet sidewalk drying up after it rains, that's evaporation in action. So Najara, can you read this paragraph on evaporation for me?
Evaporation. Think of the sun as the main power source of the water cycle. When the sun heats up water from oceans, lakes, rivers, or even puddles of water, the water starts to turn into an invisible gas called water vapor. This process is called evaporation. So when you see a wet sidewalk drying up after it rains, that's evaporation in action.
Very good. Lorenda Cooper, can you hear me, Lorenda?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I need you to turn your camera on. Kylie, where's Kylie?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I need you to turn on your camera. Turn your camera for me. Okay, so that's evaporation. Now we got evaporation. The next step in the process is going to be after evaporation, we have
Condensation.
condensation. Very good, condensation. So for condensation, so you already have the water turn into water vapor, that's evaporation. Then you have condensation, and condensation is when you have this water vapor turn into, let me explain it to you. So once the water vapor, now water vapor is going to rise, and it's going to rise high enough in the sky. So once the water vapor rises high enough into the sky, it starts to cool. It starts to cool down. Why do you think it starts to cool down?
Because it's in the sky, and I think that the sky is.
You think the sky is cooler?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Depending on how high you go, it's actually colder, right? You might think, well, isn't it hotter? No, if you go up high enough, it's gonna become cool, right?
So like the layers of the earth.
Like very cool. So once the water vapor rises high enough into the sky, it starts to cool down because it is colder up there. And where is Seth? Seth, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm gonna put your work in the chat. Okay. You understand me? Because you're not doing science, or you're not doing science with us. You're doing I remember want you to do math.
Yes, sir.
So I'm gonna put your work right. I'm gonna put inside the chat. So look in the chat for your work, okay? You understand me?
Yes, sir.
Good. Let me know if you see it inside the chat. Okay, so, Sarah.
Oh, I don't see it yet. Oh, I see it now.
Yeah, do that for me. Now, when it cools, the water vapor turns back into tiny droplets of water. I don't know if you are familiar, like if you ever did you know, like if you have like a soda, right? And the soda is very cold, you see like the soda becomes like and you just if you, like you said, say you take the soda right out the fridge and then you rest it on the table, and then you don't drink it, you just rest on the table, and you see that it's begin to sweat. Whatever happened, like you see
Yes, sir.
like it begin to drip, like hot water on it.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
That,
sir.
that ever happened to y'all? That's what
Yes,
we
sir.
Yeah, that's what we call condensation. That's when condensation is when air becomes cool enough that it starts to turn back into water. All right. So that's the same thing what happens. The water starts turning, the water was it was a puddle of water. That puddle of water dries up, turn into a gas, water vapor. It goes into the air high enough where it can become cool. And because of the coolness of it, it turns back into water. Okay. Tiny droplets of water. Now these tiny droplets of water, when they group together, so these tiny droplets of water group together to form what? What do you think they form?
Rain,
No, not rain. They don't group together to form rain. What do you see in the sky when you look up?
clouds,
Clouds. They group together
the
to form.
water vapor.
Yes, go ahead. Some other question.
Yes, sir. Well, not exactly a question, but my dad knows somebody who went skydiving
Uh-huh.
and they fell through a cloud and they said it felt horrible because it was so cold. And it
Yes.
felt like it was horrible. That's
Yeah.
what they said.
Oh, wow. Wow. It has to be cool because remember, if you high enough, it's actually cold up there. That's why the condensation happens, right? So these tiny droplets of water group together form clouds. This step so if you let me just say it. Let me put this out. When water vapor, just a gas, turns turns into water, this is condensation. It's called condensation. So condensation is when water vapor turns back into water. So what is condensation, Trinity? Trinity, what is condensation?
Condensation is when water vapor turns into water.
Yes, very good. That's condensation. All right, now the next thing is precipitation. Precipitation. So,
Excuse me, Mr. Bati, can you zoom in a little more? I can't see it.
can't see it? Okay.
Yes.
So the next thing we have is precipitation. And precipitation is basically rain, snow, hail, sleet. Any water that comes from clouds, that's precipitation. Anyone ever saw rain? I mean, not rain, snow, like in real life?
Yes, sir.
I don't ever.
Yes, sir, I have. In fact, I lived in the States for 3 years at one point.
Okay.
I
Anyone
have when I went to New York, it was like it just started snowing, but when I like got into New York, it stopped.
It stopped. Okay. Anyone else ever felt snow?
I have.
You have, Lorenda? Okay.
I haven't.
Actually, one
I
time
have.
my sister went in the snow and my sister got ice inside her boots, and then she went inside and ran hot water over her foot, and then she said it was hurting, and then she had to put cold water on it to stop it from throbbing.
Wow. Wow.
Excuse me, Mr. Litty.
Uh-huh.
I have to leave now.
You have to leave? Okay, no problem. So snow is precipitation. Same thing as rain, that's precipitation. Same thing as hail, same thing as sleet. All those are precipitation. That's when water comes from clouds in any form. So go ahead.
Are you writing?
No, I'm not writing, I'm writing now. When clouds get heavy and full of droplets, they eventually let go of water in the form of precipitation. This can be rain, snow, sleet, or hail, depending on the temperature. Anyone ever play in the rain before?
Yes, sir.
I did, and I
Yes,
got
a lot of times.
so
Yeah,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
yeah.
almost got to. I asked my mom when I was
I
little,
have.
she said no.
Yeah. Okay, that's like an outdoor shower, right? But then some people get sick after that. So
I get sick so far.
I remember when I
don't get
put
sick.
it in water and then the next day I got sick.
yeah, that happens, right?
I don't get sick.
You don't get sick? Okay. So depending on
get
the
sick.
temperature. So precipitation, write this down for me, please. Precipitation falls, precipitation falls from the clouds back down to the Earth's surface. The Earth's surface providing water, to plants, rivers, oceans, and even the ground beneath our feet. So precipitation is when water falls down from the earth in the form of rain, snow, sleet, or hail. That's precipitation. And that's what we experience. That's what we could actually feel from the water cycle. Now, collection. I'm not going to be long with collection. Everyone know what collection is. Collection is when the water that falls down is gathered. So the water that falls down from the clouds is gathered in rivers, lakes, and oceans. Rivers, lakes, oceans, uneven, and puddles
Miss Liberty, I have a question.
of water. Go ahead.
How long does it take for this process to happen?
It depends, right? Because it depends on how long it takes for the cloud to get full. But you know when it you know when it happened out. Like you know when at least precipitation, we can all feel precipitation. We might not always see evaporation. In fact, evaporation, you don't see it. You can see the effects, but precipitation is felt. Like every time it rains, you know, okay, this whole process already
Sometimes I
happened.
can even smell the rain.
Yeah, you even can smell the rain, right? We always could feel precipitation, right? That's the part of the water cycle that we could visibly feel and see. The other ones, we just, you don't really see evaporation happen. You may see the effect of it, but you don't really see the water um, turning into gas, and condensation. If you don't get to see the water turning back, the gas turning back into the water, although we get to see the clouds, that's good. But this happens frequent enough, as often as it rains.
So
Then,
this
1 second, then the process starts back again. Okay, that's the most important part. It never stops. It continues over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. All right, and that's the water cycle. Someone have a question for me? Oh, Alora, where's Alora? Alora, can you hear me? Where's Alora? So basically, if I were to show you an image of it, this is how some diagrams might have it. So this is the water cycle. 1 second. So you have the water evaporates. It goes into the air. It cools and condenses to form clouds. The clouds become full and heavy. They bring back the rain. This is precipitation.
How does water from the ground goes into the air?
Because of evaporation, that's because of the sun. The sun dries it up and it causes the water to transform into water vapor, and then it turns into clouds. And then the clouds, enough water, tiny droplets join together, they form clouds. The clouds become heavy again, provide the rain. The rain is collected and it evaporates, and the cycle continues, and it will continue as often as you breathe and as often as you, and as long as you live. This process will continue.
Excuse me, Miss Liberty.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. Oh yeah, go ahead, Seth.
I finished.
You finished? Did you write the work in?
Yes, sir.
All right, take a picture and send it to me, please. All right, and has anyone finished with this? Anyone finished with this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
No, sir. No, sir.
No, sir.
Wynette, where's Wynette?
Here.
What do we mean by precipitation?
It's like the weather.
No, not exactly. Like what exactly is precipitation? It's right there.
Rain, snow, sleet, or hail.
Yes. So let me ask you my question again. What is precipitation?
Precipitation is rain, snow, sleet, or hail.
Yes. So water from the clouds, whenever water falls from the clouds in the form of rain, snow, sleet, or hail, that's precipitation. Okay. Where's Madeline?
Here.
You finish write this down?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And Wynette, you finish write this down?
No, sir.
Okay. Najara, are you finished writing this down?
No, sir, but I'm on collection.
Collection. Daranique, are you done writing?
No, sir.
Maya, you finished writing?
Yes, sir.
All right, take a picture of your work and send it to me. Those who are finished with writing, take a picture of it and send it to me, please, via WhatsApp.
Excuse me, Mr. Petit.
Go ahead.
May I get my phone?
Yes, you can, quickly. Lorenda, you finished writing this down?
No, sir.
Okay.
Excuse me,
Gianna,
Mr. Petit.
go ahead, Lincoln.
May I get my mom's phone?
Yes, you can.
Thank you.
Okay.
Excuse me, Mr. Petit.
Go ahead, Kylie.
I finished.
You finished? Where is she? Kylie, is your camera on? So I can't see you.
Yes, sir.
Oh, I see you now. You say you finished?
Yes, sir.
Okay, take a picture of it and send it to me via WhatsApp.
Okay.
And where is I just wanna ask what Allura?
Mr. Petit, I just sent in my work.
Send in your work. Okay, thank you. Let me send you the rest. Seth. Okay,
Mr. Petit, I sent you my work. Did you see it?
I didn't check yet. Seth, I sent you the next one.
Yes, sir.
All right. Do you know how to do these, Seth, or you don't know?
I know how to do these.
Good, perfect.
Mr. Petit, can I get my phone?
Yes, we can. Have we already sent in our work? Let me know, please, before I move on.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
No, sir.
I have. Okay. Okay, like I see you actually finished on time. Madeline, Maya, what's her name? Lorenda, I need your work. Wynette, I need your work. Herman, I need to see your work. Lincoln, did you send yours?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. All right, good. So let me post this inside the chat for those persons who are still writing, because we have to move on to social studies.
Excuse me, Mr. Petit.
Go ahead.
Can I get my phone and take a picture of it?
Yes, we can quickly. Okay, so that's the water cycle.
Did you see my work, Mr. Petit?
Um, Gianna, what's so funny?
I said something and I thought the mic was on.
Oh, okay. So let's move on to social studies. Let me
You
transition.
saw the work, Mr. Petit?
Yes, I have it. I see it. Okay, so let's move on to from this, and let's move on to where's Allura?
Yeah.
Allura, are you ready to write this down, Allura?
No, sir.
What do you want now?
Condensation.
Condensation. Herman? Where's Herman?
I'm right here.
So Herman, you ready to write down your work?
I'm on the last one.
Okay. So for this one, we're going to be looking at the loyalists. So we're going to be looking at the loyalists. Have anyone ever heard of the loyalists before?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I learned that in grade 5.
Okay,
Yes,
good.
sir.
Good. What do you know about the loyalists?
I know that they left America after the war
They left America. Why did they leave America?
because of the war.
Because they wanted to worship who they wanted to worship, but
They wanted to be ruled by Britain.
They were. This is not the. We're not talking about the Lutheran Adventists now. We're talking about the loyalists. Why did the loyalists leave America?
They wanted to be ruled by Britain.
They wanted to be.
Ruled by Britain
They wanted to be ruled by Britain.
after the American War of Independence.
Okay. Anyone else? What do y'all know about the loyalists? So the loyalists. So we had the war going on, the American War of Independence, and the loyalists, like she said, they wanted to be loyal to Britain. Now, so they went to the Bahamas. The reason why they came to the Bahamas is because the Bahamas was one of the places where we're still under British rule. So they came to the Bahamas because, go ahead.
Was it the story with the loyalists are called Tories?
They are what?
Called Tories.
Called
Tories.
Tories. What do you mean by that?
That's what they said they called loyalists.
Well, I know that they made fun of the loyalists. I don't know exactly what you mean by Tories, but I know that they made fun of
Susie,
them.
Mr. Petit,
Uh-huh.
what she's saying is that is this the topic that another name for loyalists or Tory?
No, no, no. Okay, good. All right. 1 second. Think. So let's begin. Alrighty. Wynette, have you finished writing this down yet?
No, sir. I still on precipitation.
So what's taking you so long to write this?
My pencil broke.
Okay. All right, so let's write this down. So the loyalists were people, write this down for me, please. The loyalists were people who lived in the Bahamas, where did they live before they moved to the Bahamas? Where did they live before they moved to the Bahamas? Where did they live? In America, very good. So the loyalists were people who lived in America. So they lived in America during the time
The
of,
American War of Independence.
very good, of the American War of Independence. Or we can say the American, let's say the American Revolution. Yeah, let's say the American Revolution. Now, the American Revolution is basically when America fought for independence from who?
British.
From Britain. Very good. Go ahead. Someone have a question?
I do.
Go ahead.
I was saying if British was British was British a place where that ruled everywhere, like Bahamas, United States?
Yeah. They were very, very dominant, right? Very, very dominant. They're like a superpower, right?
They were
So,
very powerful.
yeah, definitely very powerful. So loyalists were people who lived in America during the time of the American Revolution, and that's when America fought for the independence from Britain. But they wanted to remain what? To remain loyal to Britain, right? Loyal to Britain. That's why they call them the loyalists.
But I
Go.
finished.
You finish? Okay, take a picture of it and send it to me via WhatsApp. Now, the thing is that did America lose or win the war?
Win.
America did win, right? America did win. It was challenging, but America did win. Now, when America won the war, many loyalists felt unwelcomed. Why do you think they felt unwelcomed?
Because people used to look at them differently and were scared.
Yeah, not only look at them differently, they used to treat them differently as well. So when America won the war, many loyalists felt unwelcome there. So they looked for a new place to do what? To live. To live, right? So they wanted to remain loyal to Britain. They wanted to keep their loyalties to Britain. And even though America won the war, it was not easy, right? Through painstaking effort and fight, they won the war. But these people, they wanted to remain loyal to Britain. So they say, you know what? We have to go to a place where we can remain loyal to Britain, because in America, they're treating us very bad. They are calling us names. They are, being violent to us. I mean, and, that makes sense, because if you want to remain loyal to Britain and you live in America, of course, the Americans could treat you bad. Like that makes sense. So they have to say, we have to go to the Bahamas. So the Bahamas became one of those places.
A safe environment.
Yeah, it's a place where they are under British rule, because the Bahamas is under British rule at the time. So in the late 1700s, many loyalists moved to the Bahamas. Bringing their families, tools, and farming skills.
Look at the key I just turned in my work.
You just send it to me? Okay,
Yes,
good.
sir.
Lincoln, when did the loyalists move to the Bahamas?
In the late 1700s.
Very good. In the late 1700s, they moved. You said you finished Seth?
Yeah, sir.
Okay, good. Let me send you the third one. Okay, good. So They moved to the Bahamas, bringing their families, their tools, their skills, and also their slaves. That's very important. They hoped to find a
Excuse me,
new.
Mr. Petit.
Go ahead.
So aren't aren't the loyalists like wicked?
A lot of people had slaves back then, so they didn't look at it as a bad thing, right? And some were given land by the British government. So the British government was like, okay, y'all want to live here? We're going to provide you with land, all right? Since you want to be loyal to us. Given land by the British government as a reward, right? For their loyalty, As a reward for their loyalty. Now, the loyalists greatly influence. The loyalist has a great impact on the Bahamas as we know it. Even the names, the last names. Anyone in here has a last name by DeVoe? Anyone here? Last name is DeVoe? DeVoe? Anyone?
My grade 1 teacher at
Also,
school
Okay.
last
Okay,
name.
if you know any DeVoe, that's a loyalist last name.
I
Colonel,
have somebody with the last name DeVoe.
yeah, DeVoe is so many of our last names that we have, they were actually from the loyalists, all right? They were actually from the loyalists because they were here before us and we kept some of our last names. So for example, Johnson, Roll, Curry, Russell, Forbes. Anyone know those last names? Fox,
I do.
Kelly,
I do.
I do.
I
Dane,
do.
Adderley, O, Culmer, Kelly, and Ferguson. All of these can be traced back to
I have a question.
the loyalists.
The loyalist.
Right?
Excuse me, Liberty.
Go ahead.
Is young a white one?
Young or white?
Yes, sir.
I'm not sure about them. I'm not sure about them. All right, so in the Bahamas, now they had plantations, so they had like, they grew a lot of what they call it, cotton. They had a big cotton plantation, but it was ruined because of the bug, the Chenal bug, right? It ruined it. In the Bahamas, but they grew a lot of crops. In the Bahamas, the loyalists tried to grow crops like cotton.
Excuse me, Mr. Petit.
Mm-hmm.
I have to sign in on my laptop because my phone about to die.
All right, no problem. And build communities, right? They helped to shape Bahamian society by bringing new ideas, businesses, and way of living. Their arrival also influenced the culture, economy, and population of the Bahamas. So what do we mean by that, right? So if you look at, like I said, some of the last names that we have, they came from the loyalists. Also, some of the buildings that we have also we could trace them back to the loyalists, right? and what they did here, right? So buildings, last name, we could trace them back to the loyalists. So they brought with them not only their plantation system, but they brought with them also their skills and ideas. Religion was also a part of them, a part of their culture. Majority of them were Anglican. So St. Matthew's Church and also New Christ Church Cathedral were built by the loyalists.
Excuse me, Mr. Petit.
Mhm.
Did they make the first newspaper?
Yes, they made the first newspaper. So one of the loyalists by the name of John Wells, he brought with him his printing press and started the first Nassau newspaper called the Gazette.
Yes.
Yeah, the Gazette. Okay, so their arrival also. So, like we said, let's talk about. So John Wells. Let's write that down. John Wells, a loyalist. Started Nassau's first newspaper called
Mr. Petit, I have
the-
to go.
Have to go? Okay, no problem.
Bye.
Have a good evening. Send a picture of your notes before you go. Call the Gazette.
Excuse me, Mr. Petit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to track today.
Okay, all right. Also, some common surnames can be traced. To the loyalists. For example, Roll, Johnson, Curry, Russell, Forbes, Fox, and so on. Okay. Okay, so that's the loyalists. Like I said, their major religion was the Anglican. So they built St. Matthew's and New Christ Church Cathedral. They also built schools, and they were very famous for boat building, right? Boat building. So new streets were built under them. They also had a new jail. The police force was started underneath them as well. And they also brought a lot of people because population.
Excuse me.
Yes, go ahead.
In like the slavery times, they had any money?
You mean, yeah, they had money. Their masters had money, but the slaves didn't have no money, but their masters had money. Okay.
Did they have the British pound money?
Yeah, they had money. So let's go ahead and go to the great exercise. Go ahead.
So, without the loyalists, would we not have school?
We would have schools, but since they were here first, they built some schools. But we would have schools, obviously. We would have schools. We still have schools. We definitely wouldn't have these surnames probably be different depending on who, depending on who colonized us. So since we were colonized by British, we speak English. But if we were colonized by, say, Spain, we would have been Spanish. Or if we was colonized by, say, French, we would have been speaking French. French would have been our main language. Or if we were colonized by, so you had three major powers. You had Spain, Britain, and you have the Spanish, you had Britain, and you have the French. So like Guadeloupe, and notice that's a French-speaking area because they were colonized by the French. And then, but we were fortunate to be. I mean, I don't know if I want to say fortunate, but we were colonized by the British, and that's, in a way, that's a good thing because at least we have English as our first language. So, if only for that. But I mean, we still had to be freed from independence. So, but then we didn't fight. We didn't fight for independence like America. We we didn't have like a war. Like how America did, or how who else did? Haiti did, or how different countries fought like physically for their independence. We didn't do that.
Excuse me, Mr. Batty, I finished.
You finish?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. All right. Let me send you another one. So let's go and move on to the grade exercise. Grade exercise is going to be this. We have state the 4 main steps
Excuse me, Mr.
in
Batty.
the, go ahead, water cycle.
Or do you just put in
Writing the question as well. Writing the question as well. Is the 4 main steps in the water cycle true or false? Evaporation is when happens when water turns to water vapor. True or false? Condensation happens when water vapor turns into ice. Number 4, the water cycle. What is the main power source of the water cycle? Number 5, why did the Loyalists leave America? Number 6, what was the name of the first newspaper in Nassau? And who was the person responsible for it? 7.
Excuse me, Mr.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't there 2 on the back of us?
Say again.
Isn't there 2 L's on
2 L's on
Russell?
Excuse me, Mr.
Russell.
Batty.
Russell. Oh, yes, there's 2 L's.
Excuse me, Mr. Batty.
Go ahead, Trinity. Say it again. Yes, you can, quickly. Lincoln, what number you on?
I'm still writing the notes.
So write in the notes. Gianna, what number you on?
I'm almost done with the notes.
Lynette, what number you on?
Going on to number 1.
Okay, Madeline, what number you on?
I'm still on the notes.
Which part of the notes?
Second paragraph.
Okay, and Darren, what number you on?
I'm also writing the notes.
Okay, which part?
The third paragraph.
The third paragraph, okay. Where's Laura?
Here.
Laura, well, you need to turn your camera, Laura. Najara, you need to turn your camera, Najara. Where's Seth? Where's Seth? Seth, you sent in the work already to me?
Not yet, because my mom still left the phone.
You need to send it, Seth. You need to send it.
Probably about 2.
I also sent you a fourth one. All right. So I need you to do that. Allura, what are you writing?
I'm still in science.
Still on science, okay. Which part of science are you on? Which part of science are you on, Allura? Which one?
The third one.
Say it again. Say it again, Allura.
The third one.
Read the sentence that you're on. Allura, read the sentence that you're on. Is Allura, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, read the sentence that you're on.
I can't pronounce the word.
What it spell? Pronounce it. I mean, what it spell it?
Preci.
Precipitation. You want precipitation?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Continue writing.
Excuse me, Miss Liberty.
Go ahead. Yes.
So just do the graded exercise and then come back to
Yes.
the
Yes. Yes. Quickly do that because it's almost time.
Excuse me, Mr. Petit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on the graded exercise now.
What number?
Number 1. Soon
Number
go
one.
on to number 2.
Okay, that's good. Perfect. Asia, what number you on?
Number 2 on the graded exercise.
Okay, where's Brenda? Brenda Cooper. Brenda, can you hear me? Where's Brenda? I think she left. Oh boy. Herman, what number you on?
Number 2.
Number 2. Maya, are you done?
Pardon me?
Are you finished?
Yes, sir.
Take a picture of your work and send it to me via WhatsApp.
Yes, sir. Excuse me, Miss Petit.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want me to send the notes too?
Yeah, send the notes. Kylie, where's Kylie? Where's Kylie? Kylie, can you hear me? Dominic, what number you on?
Almost done with the last paragraph.
Okay. Where's Maya? Maya, you say you finish?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Inside the chat, write 5 uses of water besides drinking. Besides drinking, tell me 5 uses of water. Besides drinking.
Pardon me?
Besides drinking, using it to drink, give me 5 uses of water.
Yes, sir.
Besides drinking. Joel and Gianna, what number you on?
I'm going on number 2.
Go on to number 2, okay. Najara, what number you on?
Number 5.
Okay. And
Mr. Petit, I sent them in the chat. Excuse me, Mr. Petit.
um,
Excuse me, Mr. Petit.
yes, go ahead.
I sent them in the chat.
Okay. I mean, not just the humans, I mean like in general. Like how do they help plants? How do they help the soil? How do they help, like not just humans? Okay. Madeline, what number you on?
The third paragraph.
The third paragraph. Or you still writing the notes? All right. Winnette, what number you on?
Number 5.
Number 5, okay. Alora, are you writing the notes now for social studies? Or are you still on science?
I'm finished writing the science notes.
You want, you on the social studies ones now?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Excuse me, Mr. Petit.
Yes.
I
Uh,
finished.
but you haven't sent me your work. You have to take a picture of your work and send it to me, Seth.
I'm about to send to you right now.
Yeah, send it to me. Send your work. Alora, you need to finish write down the notes. You have to do that. Daranique, what number you on?
Number 1.
Number 1, okay. Trinity, what
Well,
number you on? Trinity, what number you on?
4.
Number 4, okay.
Miss D.
Go ahead, Daranique.
We're writing the questions.
Yes. Um,
Excuse me, Mr. Petit, I'm done.
okay, if you're done, take a picture of your work and send it to me via WhatsApp.
Excuse me, Mr. Petit. I just sent him my work.
Let me see. Okay, good. Let me send you the
Mr. Petit.
Seth, let me send you the 5th one.
Do you want me to do the water then too?
Yes, yes, I need to do that. Where's Loranda? Asia, what number you on?
Answering number 4.
Kylie Curtis, what number you on?
I on the third paragraph.
You're on the 3rd paragraph, okay. Gianna and Joel, what number y'all on?
I'm on number 4, going on number 5.
Okay,
I'm on number 4.
okay.
Mr. Petite, I finished.
You finished? Okay. Take a picture of your work and send it to me via WhatsApp. Again, take a picture of your work and send it to me via WhatsApp.
Excuse me, Mr. Petite.
Uh-huh.
I'm finished.
All right. Take a picture of your work and send it to me via WhatsApp.
Yes, sir. Excuse me, Mr. Petite.
Mm-hmm.
I finished.
Good. Take a picture of your work and send it to me via WhatsApp.
I have to charge my phone.
Mr. Petit, I put mine in the chat.
Okay, good. Madeline, what number you on? Madeline, what number you on?
Still on paragraph 3.
Okay, some paragraph 3. All right. Alora, are you still writing the notes?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Excuse me, Mr. Petit, can I use the bathroom, please?
Which one you want? Which number?
Number 2.
Number 2? Okay. We about to answer the questions. I don't want you to leave yet. Once we finish answering them, then you could go. We're gonna answer them right now. All right, let's answer the questions. All right. Number one says state the four main steps in the water cycle. Would y'all love for that one?
Evaporation,
Evaporation, condensation, precipitation, and collection.
Very good. Very good. Evaporation,
And collection.
evaporation, condensation, precipitation, and collection. If you got that right, please put a tick. Number two, true or false? Evaporation happens when water vapor turns into ice.
no, evaporation happens when water turns to water vapor.
I mean, true or false? Evaporation happens when water turns into water vapor.
False.
True.
I have true.
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 True. That's correct. True or false? Condensation happens when water vapor turns into ice.
I
True or
have false.
True.
false? False. What is the main power source of the water cycle?
I have false as well.
It is the sun.
What is the main
The sun.
source of the sun? Very good. Why did the lawyers leave America?
They wanted to stay loyal to
Because
Britain.
they want to be ruled to Britain.
They wanted to stay loyal to Britain.
Good.
Because people made them feel.
Yeah, they wanted to stay loyal to Britain. What is the name of the
Because they
first
wanted to be ruled by Britain.
What is the name of the first newspaper in the Bahamas, and who was the person responsible for it?
The first newspaper in the Bahamas was the Gazette, and John Wells was responsible for it.
Good. Good. All right. All right. If you got all right, anyone got all right? Let me know, please.
Yes, sir, I got all right.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
I got one wrong.
Okay. Okay. Good. Have a wonderful evening. Take a picture of your notes and send it to me via WhatsApp, and then I'll see you. I'll see you next week. Have a wonderful evening, everyone. Bye bye. Bye bye.